What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so let's talk about this. One of the things that LeBron fanboys love to regurgitate is the myth that during LeBron James's first stint with the Cavaliers, the reason why he was unsuccessful is because his teams just weren't good enough. It wasn't because, his game was still incomplete in so many ways that defenses were able to expose this. It's because he just didn't have enough help. And that's been, honestly, the mantra of the LeBron fan every time. That's the primary mantra every time that this guy fails. I want to talk about in particular Ben Wallace. Now, Ben Wallace, of course, is a Hall of Famer. A lot of LeBron fans will say that he was a bum, but they look at things through the prism of today. They don't understand that the game was more defensive orientated back then, and a defensive stopper of his stature was something that was sorely needed in that type of game. The game was still more of a defensive orientated game. He was a four-time Defensive Player of the Year award winner. He was a multiple rebounding and block leader. He was an NBA champion, won the 2004 championship with the Detroit Pistons, and he was the defensive anchor, and he was pretty much the defensive embodiment of that Pistons team. Okay. Despite all of that, his tenure with LeBron James was less than impressive. His 2 years playing with the Cavaliers, he only averaged 3.3 points and 6.7 rebounds per game. Now, this was before I think it was a knee injury that pretty much robbed him of being an effective player at all. He was 33 years old, but that's not really that old. You know what I'm saying? But LeBron fans will say that, well, Ben Wallace was old. He was 33 years old. And that's why he wasn't as effective as he could have been with LeBron James. Or is it that LeBron James is not the type of player that brings out the best in players? Maybe LeBron James is not a leader. Maybe he's the type of guy who just, coasts on having super stacked Avengers squad. And when he doesn't have that, more often than not, he fails. Because then when you bring up Ben Wallace's age, well, then we have to bring up Dennis Rodman. Now, at one point in time, Dennis Rodman was a two-time Defensive Player of the Year award winner. He's a seven-time rebounding champion, second only to Will Chamberlain's, I think, 11-time rebounding champion. Would have been 12 had he not missed the 69-70 season due to injury. Dennis Rodman was also a five-time NBA champion. And by 95, the perception around the league was that Dennis Rodman was sort of washed. Not necessarily washed as he can't provide some assistance, but he wasn't the player that he had been before. His stint with the San Antonio Spurs had been rather disastrous. He was not a good fit, both for the team and culturally for the city of San Antonio. And it looked like Dennis Rodman at age 34 was out of the league. Entered the picture of the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan. Now, Michael Jordan wasn't the guy who initiated going after Dennis Rodman. But once he found out that Jerry Krause and the Bulls were interested in Dennis Rodman, he was one of the guys who vouched for him and wanted him to join the team. Now, this is a guy, Michael Jordan, that could have been petty. He could have said, no, I don't want him on my squad. This is a guy that was perceived as the enemy at one point in time with the bad boy Pistons. But he knew that the Bulls needed a guy like Dennis Rodman. And what happened? A guy that's advanced as far as in his years as Dennis Rodman, even though, especially back then, it was advanced, and especially considering the physicality of the position he played. From age 34 to 37, Dennis Rodman for the Chicago Bulls averaged 5.2 points, 15.3 rebounds, 3 rebounding titles, 2.8 assists, and 3 NBA championships. That's what he provided for the Chicago Bulls. And what I'm saying is that a lot of LeBron fans like to make excuses. Whenever their king fails, they like to make excuses. And at the end of the day, you got to just go out there and provide results. Okay? As Luka Doncic put it, you got to have a next man up mentality. And that's what made Michael Jordan such a unique and such a winner.
So you let us bring a camera or two to your place here to talk to you about basketball. Why do you want to share what you're thinking about basketball now?
It's pay it forward. I have an obligation to the game of basketball, not financially. I'm okay. I mean, I think more or less from as a basketball player is to be able to pass on messages of success and dedication to the game of basketball.
Still love it?
Love it like you wouldn't believe. I mean, in all honesty, I wish I could take a magic pill, put on shorts, and go out and play the game of basketball today. Because that's who I am. That's that type of competition, that type of competitiveness is what I live for, and I miss it. I miss that aspect of playing the game of basketball, being able to challenge myself against what people see as great basketball. But it's better for me to be sitting here talking to you as opposed to popping my Achilles and I'm in a wheelchair for a while.
But it's nice to be able to share the things that can still make the game great going forward from your perspective.
Yeah, I think one of the things why I did this is as professional athletes, we have an obligation to pay it forward. That's part of what, this is all about is to pass it, pay it forward.